List comprehension is another interesting feature of the list. It modifies each element and it returns a new list. Now, list comprehension has three components. The first one is the component that we want to evaluate for each element. Evaluate for you can do some calculation, you can do some apply some functions on this part. Then we have a variable component. Okay, so this is my expression component, this is my variable component, and the third part is the iteratable object. That could be a list, that could be a string, that could be a tuple or enumerate, so it could be anything. So that you can apply here. So in our case, now if you see here, we have a string, and what I want to, we have a list. What I want to do is I want to read the list one by one. So I will read the element like in 10 to I, and then I will be adding. This is my expression. And the value will be stored in a new list. This is my previous list, and it will return a new list. So, and then I'm printing a new list that will bring like 15, 25, and 35. So let's try this example. So I have a list, which is like 10, 20, 30. And then I have a list. I can say this is list one, okay? I can say this is list one. And then list two is equal to, then I'm going to say, okay, this is my expression, okay? I plus 5. And then I can say for I in L1, I'm reading from L1, it will go to I, and then I will be adding into this expression, and the value will go to this list, and it will keep on adding the list. So I don't have to put colon because this is my list comprehension, so colon is not required. Now I want to print, okay? I want to print L2. So you would see that. So let's try to run this example. And you see that I got the new list, which is L2, that is 10, become 15, and then 25 and 35. So that is how we can. So keep in mind that my list comprehension has three parts: the expression part, the variable part, and the iteratable object. And this could be list, string, tuple, or enumerate, or anything else. Now, and list comprehension is not the replacement for the for loop, by the way. So it replaces some for loops, but not all the for loops are replaceable. So for example, I want to make it a string. So I can say, okay, I'll convert it into a string. So I can use the string function for I, and if I run it, you will see that 15 becomes a string 15, or 10, 15. So there's no plus sign at the moment. So 10, 20, and 30 as is will become a string. If I say I want to, let me enter a string, okay? So I can say input, enter some numbers with space, okay? Enter some numbers with space. And what we will do is that will be the part of, that will go to L, that will go to the list comprehension, okay? And then what we will do is we'll just make it I. So let's see what happens. And this time I'm not doing any expression. I just say, okay, whatever the value comes in, please give me that value. And let's see what the value will get. Is it going to be a string or a numeric? So let's see that. Okay, this is 7, 8, 9 with the spaces done. So it becomes, so 7 becomes one value. Then we have a space. So it takes space as also, like that one. So because it is a string, okay? So now what I can do is I can convert it into an integer. So I say, okay, whatever the value you bring, make it integer. And then I will run it again. and I say, okay, now this time 7, 8, 9, and what happens? We have some issues here. What is the issue? Okay, so since I'm getting is not expecting so is expecting me to split that into a list. So if I say dot split function here, now I will convert that string, whatever the string I will get, into into a list. Okay, and then I'll be reading one by one list. So let's try that. 7, 8, 9, and you see that. So 7, 8, 9, it splits on the space. It's split on the space. Then it becomes a list. So let's try here. Okay, make it separate. Make it make it here. This is my L2 is equal to, and I'll make it L3, and there I can say L2. Now, what will happen? I'll read into L1, then I'll split L1 into and make it L2, and let's see what is L2. L2. And then I will be using the list comprehension. I'll make it integer, and then it will become the L3, and then I'll say I want to print L3. So let's see, I'll print L2 and L3, 7, 8, 9. If you see here in the L2, I got split, and split is providing me the string. So when it comes here, I got a string of a list of a string, and I'm reading it and I'm converting them to integer. It becomes a part of another list, which is L3, and now I print L3, which is this part. Okay. So yeah, you have to keep in mind a little bit. Now, if we want to find the sum of row, okay, so we have like function sum. But remember, this sum function does not work on a one-dimensional array. Okay, it works on two-dimensional array. So let's try that. So we have like okay, this is my list one, which is equal to, so let's make it like one dimension, okay, 5, 6, 7. And then I say, I want a sum of my L1, which is equal to, I can say this is my list. And then I say sum of R, and for R in L1. Okay, so it will read from L1, it will do the sum, and it will store in sum L1, and I can say print sum, print sum L1. As I mentioned, it should not work on a single dimension. Okay, that's why we are having, so object is not iteratable. Integer object is not iteratable. So what we're going to do is we will create a two-dimension list, okay? A two-dimension list. And let's try the two-dimension list. And you see that we got 18. So 6 plus 7 is 13. 13 plus 5 is 18. Similarly, if I have another list in this one, and then that is 10, 20, and 30, so I should be getting 60, 18 and 16. Huh? So let's go and try. And did you see that? 18 and 60. And if I have another one that is like, okay, that is 100 plus, and that is close, so it will bring me 18, 60, and 100. So I do have a min function. Okay, min function I can apply instead of sum. So let's see. I should be getting the lowest value, the 5, okay, and the 10 and the 100, okay. And if I say I have like 100 and 0, 100 and 0. I have two values, and if I run it, I should be getting 500 and 0. Similarly, I have max function. I believe so. And then we can try that max function. I should be getting 7, 30, and 100 now. Okay. So that is how we can use the list comprehension with different methods. Another thing that you have to keep in mind, the list comprehension is not a replacement of the for loops. Keep in mind. Second thing you have to keep in mind, the list comprehension always create a new list of objects. It does not work on the existing list. Whereas the loop modify an existing list. Okay. So these are the things that you have to keep in mind. Thank you.